watch I Fell in Love with Someone Else, and this is from the Skin Deep. I wanted to react to this other video I had watched. I'm gonna have to go back and see if I can find it. It was so cute. It was like an in love video. But let's watch this video, girl.
Why do you love me? 3 favorite memories we share.
3 favorite memories that we shared. I would say
this is the I Fell in Love with Someone Else. So I don't know if they're exes or what, but this is part 1. Let's watch it. It's so cute.
When you first told me you loved me, I think it hit me so hard because I had never had that happen before. I was used to kind of being the one that kind of fell too quickly with women, and to have someone who loved me, that was kind of shit. But it was I was low key internally oh yeah.
Exes 7 years, okay.
Poking us. That was awesome, just because it was one of the first times we kind of took an opportunity to go away on our own, feel kind of grown up. That whole weekend was just filled with laughs and joy, and it was one of those indicators to remind me there's someone that could just truly just be me.
Aww.
And also this happened to be my partner, so that was cool. And then the third favorite memory, I think, of us, I don't know, we had various times in which we stayed up and broke night, and I think it was actually when we first started talking. We stayed up and watched the sunset. We might have been FaceTiming, and then we lost track of time and realized it was 7 in the morning, and we've been talking since 10 p.m.
Long talks at night.
I think I read you one of this letter, and it was one of those breakthroughs of, damn, man, I kind of trust her. I really trust.
Dang, you had to deep swallow. Girl, when a man trusts you, I'm gonna be smiling real hard throughout this video, guys. I love stuff.
And I really trust her, and we kind of open up that much more to each other that night. So that was one that I recall.
She's pretty.
So
they look like they was a carefree couple.
I first brought up the past as a sort of addition or sort of marker into our relationship.
I was definitely taken aback. I think I was taken aback because classically men are possessive, or people are possessive, but men are very my woman is my woman. And so the first thing that struck me was, this is interesting.
Wait, what did he say?
What do you mean a pass for me? I remember thinking, okay, because I'm not typically very trusting, I was thinking,
he's swallowing
is this
real
something
hard.
that you want to get ready now? So I remember feeling anxious, confused a little bit, a little excited, okay, what does this mean? But yeah, I totally did not know how much it would mean beyond that. But those were the first thoughts.
Yeah, I didn't really want to consult anybody because, as you said, sometimes people are possessive, and then it becomes
oh, they had an open relationship?
Happened. But
hold up, I'm missing something.
What it was for me, it was that's your friend at the end of the day. We were partners, we were dating, but it was this is your friend, and if your friend desires a certain level of growth or potentially explore about it, don't silence that voice, because eventually it's gonna clap back, and then it's gonna clap back in a way.
I don't know what's going on here. Hold up.
So it's let's see where this person is, because you talked about it kind of gestured around it long enough. Yeah. And it was maybe, and
open
I
relationship.
think the hard part was kind of figuring out what that looks like, but it was you're gonna just give her the green light to kind of do, and whatever that comes in the form of. But you also know your sort of own limitations. You're not trying to hit every single detail of X, Y, and Z that happened, because that hurt your feelings. The fear of doing it didn't stop you from doing it.
Yeah.
And then it kind of just springboarded from there.
I think fear was actually probably a pretty fair thing too. I think fear of our relationship changing and losing you. I think more so the fear about you going forth with other people wouldn't be, of course it was a jealousy, possessive thing, but I think it was more so you would forge a new relationship with somebody else and then forget about me, even though
we did 3 years.
Right. It was it was silly, but I think that was definitely like a irrational fear that was driving a lot of feelings behind that.
Yeah, seeing somebody with somebody else.
And then I think also
Don't mess with my
it was one of those like opportunities to explore me outside of Raheem and Gary. Because I think just especially at Wesleyan and the level that it was, we were almost like a package deal. It was like, oh, like Raheem, like Gary shouldn't be too far behind. I'm like, yo, come on, like I love you, and I love you so much. But it was like, yo, like we are two separate people.
Right.
We not into the same things all the time. It used to be high key, like not wanting to talk to people. I'm like the social butterfly.
The social butterfly.
But what does Raheem want to do? He has to get to know Raheem outside of the context of Raheem and Gary.
I get that. Like sometimes you need a sense of individualism. This is why, and a lot of people disagree with me, but this is why I feel like young dating, like I forgot who said it, I think it was Stephen Speaks, like wait to date till you like 21, 22, 23. Like serious, I mean not date, wait to like really get into a serious relationship, because sometimes you don't get to know yourself. You don't get to know like who you are and like what you like, because you're always with this other person and tied to the hip of this other person. I mean, that's how I feel. They were together in college, so they said it was something about Wesleyan, so they were really young. So
that's nourishing the social relationships. That's hanging out with different people and not having you around, just to see if like these are legitimate friendships and
yeah, seeing what you like. Because some people, they get in a relationship and it's all about the relationship. Like probably when I'm older now, so that's different. Well, I still want to keep my friends, but you know what I'm saying. But just experiencing that, getting to know people outside of your relationship, and when you're young, it's just like you need to get to know yourself. You need to get to know you, what you like. You just become all wrapped up. Like that's why I don't feel like people should get married young. I mean, it's up to you, but that's just a personal preference for me.
relationships that would transcend Wesleyan, or is it dependent on us being together? So, when was the last time I disappointed you, and how do you feel about it now?
When was the last time you disappointed me? Thank you. How do I feel about it now?
Look at him. Look how he looking.
That's a good question. I feel tearful because I think of our relationship, especially towards the end, about how much I disappointed you, that I don't really think about how you've disappointed me as much anymore. Like, I know you stressed me out in our relationship, and I knew I used to be mad all the time, but I don't. I feel like I weigh how much things were, and I feel like I've done so much more. So I don't really think about all the things that you could have done. Yeah, disappointed. Just like thinking about our senior year, I can't even think about a time when I was necessarily disappointed. Because even, I guess what I could say would be disappointed that you didn't want to entertain the conversation around polyamory, but at that point it wasn't so much disappointment because, I ain't a killer but don't push me.
Oh, she wanted a poly relationship. See, I don't like that, because to me, it's just like that's being selfish. To me, like the poly stuff, it's like you being selfish. Like I'm not judging people who are into poly, but it's like she couldn't find herself. She wanted to try to find herself, and I think that's what she said too. She wanted to try to find herself, but then stay with him too. No, boo. No. Better take your poly. No poly over here, girl.
Already pushed you all the way to the edge, and so it makes sense that the way that the conversation unfolded after that point happened as it did. So I don't know. So, but how I feel about this now, about any disappointment, is just that I feel like I disappointed you a lot.
Cause you didn't know yourself, boo.
I think
that's what
my disappointment was such a grand disappointment regarding our friendship that I feel like I don't feel like I'm allowed to feel the way about anything else, and like it's also just drastically diminished the weight of everything else.
So she was the reason.
It's like,
He looks so hurt.
I think.
See, you got girlfriend and boyfriend, but then you got somebody who's like your friend. You get what I'm saying? When that's your friend, that hit different, hit different, hit different, hit different.
I think in some ways, there were little things in which I probably did to disappoint you, like stop doing those little things, or. But it was also like we stopped spending as much time together too.
Yeah.
It's like as we were about to go through this change in college graduation, it was like we were spending less and less time together, and we lived in the same apartment. So that was kind of like a trip, you know. Senior week, all you wanted to do was spend time with me, and I was like. And I think, I would say I'm disappointing myself for not just speaking up and calling that out for what it is. It's like, yo, wait, what? Like, we're not going to be in the same state. You're moving to down south. I'm moving back home.
Mm-hmm.
We should want to spend time together.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm disappointing myself at times for not speaking up and vocalizing that.
What do you think I am hesitant to tell you?
Just process that.
Dang. It say sis fell in love with somebody else. My computer just died. But y'all, we will get into part 2 after. I'm really liking this video or whatever. My opinion on that is just like, well, I just think like my takeaway is just like, I feel like when you're young, when you're like, it's just like when you're like 18, when you're like 17, 18, 20, 21, like those college ages, like to be strapped down to someone, it's just, for me, it's just a nah. You know what I mean? I just feel like that's the time you want to see somebody and your boo, and whatever y'all do is y'all business. But as far as being tied down to someone at that young age, I don't agree with that. That's a personal opinion. I don't think you should get serious to maybe you like 24, 23. And I know a lot of people don't agree with that. But maybe 23. Like 23, once you out of college, once your head is clear. Because being in a relationship and you in college and you trying to focus on your books and your studies, but you worried about a guy, like, no, sweetheart. Like, you need to be in them books. You could get you a boo. Ain't nothing wrong with having somebody to talk to. Ain't nothing wrong with doing your thing. If you want to do your thing, whatever you want to do, whatever floats your boat. I'm not encouraging that, but if that's what you want to do. But I'm telling you right now, like those young relationships, I don't agree with them, but people gonna have them anyway. It's up to you what you want to do. But yeah, you got to get to know yourself. You got to spend time with yourself. I feel like a lot of people, they get in relationship to relationship and they don't get to know themselves. So they don't know who they are because they've been in relationships all their life. You get what I'm saying? You got to know, you got to take time out to find out who you are, what you want to do, what you like, what your dreams are. You know, you're constantly changing as a person. We change all the time. So just waiting for, I think it's just patient. I don't think people want to be patient for love, okay? They're ready for love, but be patient for love. Especially if you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody. I just don't think that, my takeaway from them, I don't think that they were ready to be in a relationship. And I don't think that she knew herself well enough. And I feel like young people, I feel like they get hurt the most because they don't know themselves. And you still might want to, you're like a 20-year-old, you know what I'm saying? You want to talk to this one, see what you like. You get what I'm saying? Like, come on. But anyway, I will see y'all in part 2. Let me know if you want some more reactions like this. We're going to have to finna do these type of reactions because they're killing me on the music. And I will see you guys later in my next video. Make sure you guys subscribe. We hitting 100 subscribers, baby. What's good? Bye.